This battery was once a punchline, a failed experiment, a dead-end chemistry collecting dust in university basements. But something changed. Quietly and almost without anyone noticing, a handful of breakthroughs have brought it back from the brink. Now, it's not just relevant, it might even be revolutionary. Lithium-sulfur. It doesn't sound glamorous, but if recent research holds, this forgotten formula could be the key to electric cars that drive for days, drones that never quit, and phones that don't need charging every night. So, how did we get here? And is lithium-sulfur really about to change everything? Why we dismissed lithium-sulfur too soon. The idea of lithium-sulfur batteries isn't new. They've been around since the early 1960s. On paper, they looked like a dream come true. Lightweight, high energy density, and cheap materials. But in reality, they were a mess. For decades, researchers hit wall after wall. Sulfur might be abundant and eco-friendly, but it comes with problems. Major ones. The batteries degraded fast. They charged slowly. Worse, they would fall apart from the inside out. One of the biggest culprits was a chemical phenomenon called polysulfide shuttling. During use, sulfur molecules would form unstable compounds, polysulfides, that dissolved into the battery's electrolyte. Once loose, they drifted around, reacted with the lithium anode, and formed a crust that blocked the battery's internal flow. It was like trying to fuel a car while someone stuffed glue in the gas tank. Then there were safety concerns. Swelling was common, sometimes even bursting the battery casing. Dendrites, tiny metallic spikes, would grow and threaten short circuits. Energy storage was great in theory, but unreliable in practice. With all that baggage, the tech never left the lab. And with lithium-ion taking off in the 90s and 2000s, there was little reason to keep investing in something so unstable. Li-ion wasn't perfect, but it worked, and it scaled. So lithium-sulfur became the battery world's forgotten genius. Brilliant on paper, useless in the real world. Until now. The chemistry and the curse. What held Li-S back? To understand why lithium-sulfur batteries are so promising and problematic, you have to dig into the chemistry. Sulfur is light, cheap, and everywhere. Compared to metals like cobalt or nickel, it's downright humble. But that's part of its appeal. It's non-toxic, safe to handle, and environmentally friendly. And when paired with lithium, sulfur can theoretically store 5 times more energy than standard lithium-ion batteries. That means lighter electric vehicles, longer drone flights, and devices that last days instead of hours. But theory isn't reality. The problem starts with the sulfur cathode. As the battery discharges, sulfur turns into various polysulfide compounds. These are highly soluble in the electrolyte and notoriously mobile. They float through the battery like uninvited guests, reacting with the lithium anode in ways that gum up the system. Over time, the lithium gets coated with lithium sulfide, an insulating layer that blocks ions and kills the battery's performance. And it doesn't stop there. As sulfur absorbs lithium, it physically expands. The battery swells. And if the material can't handle the strain, it breaks. Charging and discharging are painfully slow. Dendrites can form, creating risks of short-circuiting. Even when researchers thought they'd solved one problem, another would appear. It was a game of chemical whack-a-mole. But researchers didn't give up. Over time, new strategies started to emerge. Carbon cages, molecular binders, nanomaterials, and slowly, lithium-sulfur began to crawl out of the shadows. What was once hopeless in chemistry is starting to look like the future. Breakthroughs around the world. Across the globe, labs have been quietly cracking the lithium-sulfur puzzle, one breakthrough at a time. Let's start in Australia. At Monash University, researchers found inspiration in a surprising place. Betadine, the antiseptic used before surgeries. Inside, it is a polymer called polyvinyl pyrrolidone, mercifully shortened to PVP. When added to lithium-sulfur batteries, this compound acts as a catalyst, speeding up sluggish chemical reactions. The result? Faster charging and discharging without compromising stability. Their prototypes showed energy densities up to 400 kg, nearly double that of lithium-ion. That could mean electric vehicles with 1,000 kilometers of range on a single charge. But Monash isn't stopping there. They're preparing real-world trials in commercial drones and eVTOL aircraft. Still in Australia, another team at the University of Adelaide tackled the battery's biggest bottleneck, the sulfur reduction reaction. This reaction is painfully slow and produces those pesky polysulfides. Their solution? A nanotech electrocatalyst made from cobalt and zinc. It might sound like Star Trek technobabble, but it works. The battery can charge in just 5 minutes, a huge leap from traditional LIS charge times of several hours. Plus, it lasts over 1,000 cycles, a major milestone for sulfur chemistry. Next, let's head to South Korea, where scientists at DGIS took a different route. Instead of focusing on sulfur, they built a better structure around it. Their team created a graphite-based scaffold, enhanced with nitrogen and a compound called ZIF-8. This setup traps polysulfides and prevents them from wandering. It also controls swelling and speeds up charging. Their prototype reached 705 mAh with a charging time of 12 minutes. Each team attacked a different part of the lithium-sulfur problem. One sped up reactions, another fixed a structural issue, a third focused on charging times. But all shared a common goal, proving that lithium-sulfur isn't just viable but better. Together, they've brought the battery from laboratory oddity to real-world contender. But the biggest breakthrough? That came when researchers turned to solid-state chemistry. And what they discovered might just change everything. The forever battery and solid-state promise. Imagine a battery that could last decades, not years, decades. That's the promise of the latest breakthrough in lithium-sulfur, the all-solid-state battery. In a recent Nature study, an international team unveiled a Li-S battery that maintained 80% capacity after 25,000 cycles. That's not a typo. 25,000 full charges and discharges with barely any loss. In perspective, most lithium-ion batteries start to fade after just 1,000 cycles. So what's the secret? It's all about solid electrolytes. Unlike traditional batteries that use liquid electrolytes, where polysulfides wreak havoc, solid-state versions use stable materials that don't dissolve. This alone makes the battery safer and more durable. But even solid-state Li-S had its flaw, a sluggish solid-solid redox reaction that slowed everything down. That's where iodine comes in. By adding iodine, researchers enabled a reversible redox process, a fast lane for electrons. This allows the battery to skip the bottlenecks and keep cycling efficiently, not just in ideal lab conditions. These batteries survived 3,500 cycles at 60 degrees C, a temperature that would destroy many commercial cells. It's not perfect. Manufacturing solid-state Li-S batteries at scale is still a major challenge, but for now, the data is staggering. A stable and long-lasting battery could power grid storage systems, electric aircraft, or space missions where replacement isn't an option. It's a glimpse into a future where batteries don't wear out, but wear in. And that future might be closer than we think. From lab curiosity to industrial dreams. For decades, lithium-sulfur batteries were stuck in research mode, trapped in academic journals and experimental setups. But that's changing. One company, Lyten, based in California, is leading the charge into real-world deployment. Their breakthrough? Graphene-caged sulfur is a clever method that traps sulfur within a conductive carbon shell. This structure helps block the troublesome polysulfides and stabilizes the battery's chemistry. Encouraged by early success, Lyten made a bold leap, converting an existing lithium-ion production line into a lithium-sulfur facility. They did it in just 6 weeks, spending less than 2% of the original setup cost. That's game-changing. This means the current manufacturing infrastructure doesn't need to be torn down. It just needs to be retrofitted. Now they're going even bigger. Lyten has announced a $1 billion gigafactory in Reno, Nevada, with a projected output of 10 gigawatt-hours per year. That's enough to supply hundreds of thousands of electric vehicles or high-performance drones. Of course, scaling up will not be seamless. Supply chains need to be reworked, manufacturing techniques must evolve, and regulatory standards must catch up. But the intent is clear. Lithium-sulfur is no longer confined to the lab. With companies like Lyten pushing forward, the timeline isn't theoretical anymore. The chemistry is ready, and the market is watching. And the race has begun. What's still holding it back? Despite the buzz, lithium-sulfur isn't ready to take over just yet. Most of the breakthroughs still live inside research labs, not manufacturing lines. Moving from lithium-ion to lithium-sulfur isn't a simple swap. It demands new materials, tools, and methods. There's also the matter of confidence. The world runs on lithium-ion because it's proven, stable, and trusted. For lithium-sulfur to succeed, it must prove it works not once but every time. Still, what was once dismissed as unstable and impractical is now edging toward reality. Inspired by antiseptics, nanotech, and solid-state science, researchers are solving the problems that once held it back. And with billion-dollar factories now in the pipeline, lithium-sulfur is no longer just a hopeful theory. It's a real challenger. It won't replace lithium-ion overnight, but it's coming. Lighter, cheaper, and possibly longer lasting, this battery might quietly reshape our world. And one day, your endlessly lasting device might owe it all to sulfur.